My name is Larry Jameson and I would like to take this opportunity to introduce you to VideoStation. Our business is film and video transfer with the emphasis on archive material. In fact, we are one of the very few companies in the world that is able to transfer home movies for broadcast use, as well as your own personal archives. Many clients come to see me with bags of old films, rather like these, and they have no idea as to what they contain or if in fact they can be transferred. In this short video we hope to give you an insight as to what films you may have and the different processes available. So select what you want to see and sit back and enjoy the video. Our speciality is being able to transfer material that other companies consider unusable. Here are a few examples with some faces you may recognise. Since the late 1920s, when this early clip of 9.5mm film was shot, people started recording their family history on film. This restored 16mm clip is from 1931. However, it is the late 1950s and 60s that are best remembered as the golden age of home movies. Shot in vibrant colour, at a time when most feature films were made in black and white, they depict a living image that perfectly captures those magic moments. Unfortunately, for most people, showing film on the old projector is no longer an option. The most popular formats for home movies were Standard 8 and Super 8. Standard 8 normally had these little grey reels and Super 8 little black reels. This is 9.5mm film and can be recognised by the sprocket hole in the centre. It was also the earliest gauge of home movie film. This is 16mm, which was the professional's choice and normally came along in these little yellow boxes. All the amateur cinematographers of the last century provided us with living images which must be preserved. Diamonds are forever, but that is certainly not the case with film. All the archives throughout the world are in a race to try and preserve our images of the past. It is estimated that over 50% of all film shot prior to 1950 has already been lost forever. 35mm nitrate film was combustible and could easily self-ignite. This often resulted in horrendous fires. Even with ideal storage from major archives, film still disintegrates and eventually turns to dust. Home movie stock, thankfully, is safety film, but the disintegration process is no different. One day it will just break off piece by piece in your hand, and at that point it can no longer be saved. Like the film archives, you are also in a race to save your images before it is too late. So what you are looking at is standard 8mm home movie footage. It has the smallest aspect ratio or frame size of any gauge of cinefilm. But as you can see, the resolution and colour is excellent. This is due to the fact that this film is being transferred on a professional telecine machine. These machines were originally designed for the transfer of 35 and 16mm film, but obviously not home movie formats. To overcome this problem, we use a multi-format gate called the G3Q. This has been especially designed by Video Engineering Limited to facilitate the transfer of small format film on professional telecine machines. Standard 8, or Regular 8, as it is known in some countries, was the most popular gauge of film formats for home movies. It was available from the late 30s until the mid-60s, when it was replaced by Super 8. You can see from this example the difference between the two formats. The film on the left is Standard 8 and on the right Super 8. As you can see, the Super 8 film has smaller sprockets, but a larger frame area is presented in order to produce better resolution. So looking at these standard 8mm images, it would be quite easy to mistake them for Super 8 or even 16mm film. So we will zoom the picture out in order to show you the telltale sprocket holes. And as you can see, this is clearly standard 8mm film. By changing the skid plate on the gate, we can now change to Super 8, the other popular choice of home movies. Another change this time to 9.5mm film. The wide sprocket hole across the centre of this format significantly weakens the material. It is the frailest and most difficult of all formats to transfer, and it is safe to say that we are one of the very few companies in the world that can transfer this format on a professional telecine machine. The Bosch Telecine uses a rubber capstan to safely transport the film through the machine in a continuous motion, rather than the jerky, intermittent claw movement of an old film projector. This makes it ideal for transferring fragile, archived material. This old shot of the studio was taken with a Betamax camera in the late 1980s or early 90s. It was a time when my hair was naturally that colour. Everything that once had to be recorded onto this giant videotape can now be captured on this mini DV. And what is more, the quality is far superior. The 16mm film you are looking at is both shrunk and warped. It also has damaged sprockets. But as you can see, the transfer we have produced is still extremely good. This old clip of Standard 8 has severe sprocket damage. You can actually see where the claw has been striking the film. This is a section of that footage. The same applies to this old clip of 9.5mm film. The projector claw damage is clearly visible, yet we are still able to provide a viewable image. This is an example of shrunken film, but this time it is 16mm. As you can see, the shrinkage is quite extensive, and if it were to be projected, it would be shred to pieces. This is the same 16mm clip after we restored it. Our telecine machines can also transfer 8mm magnetic sound, which for Standard 8 was originally recorded by linking a tape recorder to a projector using a device called a Synchrodeck. The quality of sound was very poor by today's standards. This is the oldest clip of home movie sound we have transferred. Take it away, girls! want to evaluate your film prior to transfer, I would suggest using an editor rather than a projector. Let the film pass gently through your fingers, checking for damaged splices. If preparing for professional telecine, avoid splices that are less than 1 metre apart, as this can affect the stability. Using an editor will also help you identify the ages of your film, so that you can put them in a sequential order, like the ages of the kids as they were growing up and the holidays you shared. And you never know, you might find that little gem that better go to a separate DVD.
From right and left speakers.
In this short DVD, we have tried to show you the benefits of professional film transfer, but many other options in DIY devices are available from places like eBay, etc. It is far more important to understand that your films, like videotape, is a degradable asset. So if you are sitting with a batch of irreplaceable movies in your loft, you do need to act now. Please don't wait until it's too late. Moving pictures are living images, and they convey so much more than any photograph. Finally, we would like to thank everyone who allowed us to use their home movie clips in our demonstration. Please remember that the quality of any transfer is always dependent upon the original material, and thank you for watching.